Yes, sir. We're back. Episode 9 of Collectin and Connectin Podcast. We are here. King Brett, what's up, my man? How you doing?
Woo!
Yes, sir. And we got an extra special guest. I've been dying to talk to this guy. The Mac Attack himself, at the Mac Sauce 20 on Twitter. What's up, man? You're here.
What's going on? Thanks for having me, guys. I'm super excited to be here.
Yes, sir. Involved with your team, the Indiana Pacers up there. Very loving that squad. I love talking to you about those guys. Indiana Fever. I know you're super involved with WNBA. We're going to be all over both Top Shot and WNBA Top Shot. I can't wait to talk about all of it with you, buddy.
All right. Yeah, looking forward to it.
While we're on WNBA, let's get into that. Tell me a little bit about what you got going on. You have a community that you're running, and tell us about that.
Yeah. So I am the co-creator of WCC. Me and my boy Snapper. We're the WNBA collectors community, and we basically last year we were looking around. We knew that there were team channels for NBA fans, and we had, this was before the captains community was created for the best of set. So we were looking around, we're like in a couple of Discords together, and I just posed the question: is there anywhere that a general WNBA fan can go to talk to other WNBA fans on Discord about Top Shot, that kind of stuff? And learned pretty quickly the answer was no.
Yeah, there was.
So huge credit to Snap. I am not super technical when it comes to Discord and socials and things like that, and so he created it and was like, hey, I need your help, and we've kind of built it from the ground up, and we're open to anybody that wants to learn about the WNBA. You could be a diehard fan, you could be a brand new collector, you could be not affiliated with Top Shot at all, and you just want to talk to people about WNBA. Come on in. We've developed a lot of cool stuff. We've sent a collector to the All-Star game this year. Wow. Last year sent a collector to an Aces game, and they got like a little swag box with some merch and stuff in there. Created a game similar to Moment Ranks, where you can submit a showcase of moments that you own, and it's like DFS essentially for your WNBA moments. So it's been a lot of fun. We got a lot of stuff in the works, and the future's looking bright.
Collecting and connecting, baby. That's
exactly
awesome.
Exactly.
I love it. Brett, you've been pretty fortunate to go to a couple IRL and WNBA events, games and whatnot. I know that you guys have interacted a little bit on that. We had looked for information about the WNBA like Mac is talking about, and really wasn't much out there. And then you had found his group, and it's really cool that you guys are putting that out there. Shout out to you and Snapper.
Dude, for sure. I have to say, I accidentally started collecting WNBA moments. You know how that goes. Everyone out there listening, I'm sure you accidentally collect things. And then I was like, wow, dude. I mean, I already kind of like the Wings, which is our local Dallas team. And
shout out.
And because of what you and Snapper did, first of all, I just got to throw this out there. You're hearing it here first, folks. And there may be some people like, what? And they're gonna check you out on playback. I think that y'all have the best playback, bar none.
Hey,
you and Snapper on there,
and
y'all are talking, your knowledge, your entertainment, the giveaways that y'all do, the hypeness, just from start to finish. I know a lot of people are on just like having playback and they have stuff running, but dude, the engagement and just, it's fun to be on there. Like, listen to y'all and the banter and the communication and just watching these girls play ball, and it's really a lot of fun. I've won some moments in the playback channel, and because y'all started the WNBA Discord stuff, I've been fortunate. I've won some UA tickets and went and watched the women play there. I got some signed gear, some signed autographs, got some pictures with Lexi and some other girls, which was awesome. Became a Lexi fan the moment I met her. I was like, whoa. But dude, just so much fun. And I've gone to a couple Wings games through Jen's really involved in the WNBA stuff. And dude, it's just awesome. And none of that would have really even been possible without you and Snapper like posing that question and like saying like, hey, like what's up with us? Like we're important too. And now it's becoming this awesome big thing. And it's just so cool, dude.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Like that we're working very hard, and Jen and Jude both being the captains of the Best of community, like they've been instrumental in our success. Like they have helped us so much. Same with Boards to Buckets and you guys, like just communities out there that have kind of made their way to us and just saw what we have to offer and kind of what we bring to the table, and like these are good dudes, we're going to help support them any way we can. And like it's truly like you all have helped in so many ways, just by word of mouth. And that's the big hurdle, like it's NBA Top Shot. Right. It's NBA is the brand, but WNBA is there too. And the voice definitely needs to be heard, and we're glad that people are starting to find it, and people are starting to really speak up and speak out. It's pretty great.
You nailed it. Like the crossover, right? In the communities, like if you jump in the Kingdom playbacks or Boards to Buckets or any of the other ones, you're seeing people that are in the WNBA y'all's playback, and then when those, it's like everyone's jumping and watching and kind of helping each other, and it's such a great thing. And I have to say, too, I know we got a lot to talk about, but if you're sleeping, if you haven't watched some of these WNBA moments, like there's some sick moments out there. There's some great quality stuff. There's some really affordable moments and team collections that you can complete and get involved. So just shout out. If you haven't looked at it, check it out. It's definitely always by the Wings, Dallas, because they're the best, obviously. Like there's a couple other teams that are decent,
Man, the Wings are killing it this year. Their roster is so good, good.
They really are. They're fun to watch, but you can't sleep on your Indiana team there, bud.
Listen, they 20-30 champs.
Central. Like man. They're down by like 30, and all of a sudden, like they're up by 2 in 3 minutes, and you're like, what just happened? It's been nuts. Tell us more about that.
We're young. We're young. It's one of those things where like we tend to, if you look at a lot of the games we've lost this year, they've been very, very close games. And it's going to come with time, maturity, 20-30 champs. 20-30 champs.
Love it.
You got to manifest it. I would love sooner, but hey, I'll take 20-30 too. So
we've all been fortunate to go to some IRL events, but especially games. I know Brett was just talking about it, and I love you posting about different games you're going to. And Brett brought up the Fever there, and that you're going there and supporting them a lot. You've had a big milestone in you and the wife's life, and got to celebrate that. Saw this post the other day. Wanted to wish you guys a happy anniversary. It's cool that she's collecting and connecting with you and getting to go to games and reap the benefits with the Mac sauce.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Like the people are sleeping on the WNBA in terms of just fan entertainment. Like you see how close we are to the court. Like we're 4 rows from the court. Those tickets were $40. Wow, $40, and that's how close we were. And it's like
those are sweet seats right there to be that close to the action. You're right there.
Yeah, it was incredible. But she's a sports fan. She likes the fast-paced sports. Like she likes boxing, MMA. She'll watch football with me. She really doesn't like watching basketball.
Words, don't upset her because she's going to those quick sports. She knows how to jab.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah.
She likes the physicalness. She likes the hitting and the constant action with that.
Exactly. And basketball is just even with as fast paced as it's become with all of the rule changes, it's still too slow paced for her. But she loves going to the games. She's really had a great time every time we've gone. And she'll even, she's in college right now. She'll even work on her schoolwork and watch them in the background with me.
Nice.
So we're slowly converting her, guys.
Progress. I like it.
I was gonna ask if you had to like bribe her to go to this anniversary game, or if she was like excited about it. But I guess it's a little of both, right?
Yeah, it was a little bit of both. It was one of those things where it's like we're doing this thing where we're trying to reach all 50 states together and
Nice.
visit all 50
Wow,
states
that's
together.
awesome.
So this was on our way to Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So it's
Ooh.
like, all right, we're going to spend the weekend in Wisconsin. Let's spend our actual anniversary doing something that most people don't do on their anniversaries.
Love it.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
So, did you go to Wisconsin for the cheese? Because I've heard they have some amazing queso there. I've never tried it, but what was the Wisconsin
The
trip?
cheese was good. The cheese was good, but we took a tour of Pfizer Forum, which was
Oh, no way.
super sick. Like, got to go into the
Yeah.
owner's suite and see the trophy room. Got to go to the locker
Dude.
room, all of that stuff.
Nice.
That's really cool.
So that was the main reason why I wanted to go.
Yeah, I mean,
So you got lots out of that anniversary.
Yeah,
trip.
I sure
Yeah.
did. She got some
Yeah.
food. I got basketball. It was all good.
What? How many states did that make out of the 50?
That was number 15. So
Nice.
Ooh, nice.
Very cool. Yeah, King Brett and I are both been able to take the girls to games before, so that they're starting to like basketball a little bit. Mine is definitely more football for sure.
Yeah.
But she's starting to follow Luca and watch them a little bit with me, so that's good. And Brett was able to take his girlfriend to her first NBA game through NBA Top Shot. Is that right?
Fiance, technically, but
Pardon.
Yeah,
Fiance? Heck yeah.
shout out Houston Rockets Discord and Leet. I won some tickets in the Discord and got to take my girl who actually lived north of Houston in the Woodlands to her first NBA game ever, and she loved it. Sat next to some cool people, and then since then we've been fortunate to be able to go to a couple Mavs games, and she's really starting to get into it, which is great. It's also expensive because now she wants her jersey and her hat and her. And they're like, all right, but it's an investment in my future in watching the Mavs, so I got to do it.
Exactly. Something that's going to bond you guys forever.
Right. It's like all of a sudden you're wearing a jersey and all the kids are wearing a jersey, and she's like, all right, hold on, I cannot not have one, right?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, going to the IRL events has been incredible this year. Like, I know NBA home opener, I won sweet tickets to the Pacers. So it was just like me, my plus one, and like 30 other people just from Top Shot sitting in a suite, all watching the game together. And it was cool because my plus one was a childhood friend of mine that's not really into Top Shot. And so for him to be able to see like, oh, these tickets were free.
Right.
Parking was included in that.
Mac?
Yeah, how did you get that? And then
how did this happen?
And then to see
like the same stuff. What?
Yeah, and we all opened our dynamic duo moments together, like in the suite, so
cool.
he was able to see like, oh, how does this interact and all of that. And then we got to go to the LA Sparks game. We took a family vacation and got to get tickets for free to go to watch the LA Sparks play with WNBA. That was amazing. Like Top Shot team communities, if you're not in one, you better run and get in one. Get in as many as you can.
Being in any community whatsoever within Top Shot is important because we've already mentioned it several times, and just the information sharing, like the fact that all these people are doing different things within the ecosystem of Top Shot. They're finding out about stuff and then sharing it with their buddies. And then that's how we're finding out about everything that we're learning throughout this process is word of mouth and just talking to each other and hanging out every day. Love it.
100%.
King Brett mentioned Jersey like 10 times in that story. Mavs came up to, I can see just a hint of blue on the top of your jersey. It looks like we're all representing Dallas right now. My goodness.
Yes, sir.
What I'm talking about.
Is that the Jet?
Jason, the Jet Terry.
Oh,
of course.
Man, that's meant to be hanging with the Mavs boys, talking Dallas. I love that guy. The Jet is a stud. He'll forever be remembered for being on the championship team, having the tattoo on his bicep.
Manifested it.
Yep,
he did
it pre-championship and then won it. I love it.
And he makes that headband look good too. Not all of them can pull it off. He did. And I also love his big move, like his finish, like flying like a jet.
Yes,
like,
it was incredible. Incredible.
Like, and anyone that ever does it, they're gonna be like, "Oh, you're just copying the Jet." Like it's hard to come up with your own creative like NBA celebration because there's so many greats that have done different stuff. So like to have one that like that's pretty cool. I like that one a lot.
Yeah,
have a signature move, maybe like a signature fadeaway, or maybe a Dirk fadeaway jumper. Let's
It's
talk
Mr.
Mavericks for a
Hall of
minute while we
Fame.
got you here. We had a
Mr.
big
Hall of Fame.
milestone. Dirk Nowitzki went into the Hall of Fame 2023 class.
Let's go.
I got his jersey back here. It's one of my first loves watching the game. Made me fall in love with the Mavericks. Followed him through some tough times, and then winning in 2011 with the Jet and J Kidd and Tyson Chandler, Matrix Man. I love Dirk, and so happy that he finally got inducted. Let's talk about him for a minute. I know we all got some Dirk memories. Mac, you have been to see him a couple times, even seen him pretty up close. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, man. So I live about an hour and a half away from Indy, so it's very, very close for me to get there. And I started watching the NBA because of my next door neighbor. Me and him grew up together. His uncle lived in Dallas, so he became a Dallas fan because his uncle would take him to Dallas games. And then I was one of those people where I always wanted to play sports. It was kind of boring watching them. I'd rather be outside playing it. But on rainy days, we'd throw on the Mavs and we'd start watching basketball. I got obsessed. I mean, just obsessed with Dirk. With back then, Josh Howard was there, Eric Dampier, all those guys, and absolutely fell in love with Jason Terry, and Dirk. And so we made it a goal where pretty much every year that Dallas would play Indy, we would go up there and watch it. So I mean, I had about a decade's worth of games where, every year I was going up there and watching Dirk and watching, the evolution of because I started watching 2007, 2008. So watching the evolution of, the rebuild from the 06 blunder all the way to the 2011, cap of the top of the top, and then back down again. So those are some great memories. I was actually able to go on the court in his final year with the Mavs, and like he was stretching and working up, doing his warm up. I got a picture with Mark Cuban.
Oh my God!
I was literally like 5 feet away from Dirk for 30 minutes before
you
the
were
game.
Freaking out, Mac.
It was amazing.
I would have been like a little schoolgirl. I'd been like, look at me.
It was incredible. And that game, we made sure we were as close to the Mavs bench as we could get.
So cool.
It was, man, just incredible.
What a cool memory, man. That's really fun to be at a road game in Indiana for the Mavericks, and to be that, those Maverick fans and the people that are into them on the road is probably standing out more just because you're in a hazardous environment. You're on the road and you got all these home fans, and all of a sudden there's somebody wanting to see you, talk to you. It's probably pretty comforting and exciting to see those fans on the road.
Yeah. I mean, you could definitely tell, like, and Dirk was always a class act. Every time, every game that I went to that he was at, he would take the time, he would do his pregame warm up by himself before anybody else touched the floor. And for those fans that came in early, he would literally just sign autographs on his way to, and I'm sure a lot of folks do that, but Dirk is the only person that I have seen do it to the level that he has done it. So like super glad he's in the hall. Definitely deserves it. And his speech was like quintessential Dirk.
It was like a stand-up routine. He was killing me. He was so funny.
It was so funny, and nothing was about him. It was all, I'm going to give the flowers to this person. Give the flowers to this person. I mean,
that's that humility you're talking about with just the signing signatures. I mean, he's had that his whole career, and has been just a humble guy. And even though he's been a superstar here in Dallas, it wasn't necessarily known everywhere until 2011. So I'm really happy that got put in history, and then now as forever a Hall of Famer. What a stud.
Yeah, 100%.
You brought up the dynamic duos, ripping those in person with buddies in the suite. Brett and I, the first time we saw that dynamic duo of the Mavs, it's 2011 with J Kidd and Dirk. I mean, it is awesome.
Yes.
We love that moment.
Yeah, I mean the dynamic duo set as a whole. I know they got a lot of flack because some of the teams were a little too recent. But you got to work with what you got, and that you said it. You couldn't have said it better. Like that dynamic duo moment for the Mavs, just an incredible moment. Incredible time to be a Mavs fan, honestly. Like, so good.
It was very special times, and we loved that one was perfect for us. It took when the dynamic duos came out. I did hear flack about some of the choices and whatnot, but at the time I didn't really realize the process behind getting approval for if there's certain players that they hadn't had agreements yet, then they couldn't have made those moments.
Exactly.
And so, I didn't really pick that up at the time, but that makes total sense now.
Yeah, it's one of those things you got to work with what you've got. Like at the end of the day, it's a partnership. It's not like they don't have free roam to do whatever they want. They got to work within the limits.
Make it done.
Exactly.
It's a lot more.
Exactly.
Sure.
So I think they've done a heck of a job. Working with the NBA and the WNBA. The WNBA is a lot slower. I've learned with approvals and just progressiveness of the league as a whole. That front office is pretty slow compared to the NBA.
They probably have to be a little bit more conservative, just as for the budget they have and whatnot. No offense, but just that they're probably having to be a little bit more right about their choices and to make sure, and we don't know yet about NBA Top Shot. Hopefully we get to see a renewal of that 10-year license, and we get to continue this fun because, man, we are having a blast.
Yes, it's too much fun. It's too much fun.
Speaking of fun, I do have a question. We were talking about one of the greatest players ever, in my opinion, Dirk. I know you have a couple. You have one kid, two kids.
I have three.
Three. I was wrong. If you add 2 + 1, it equals a 3. So technically, I was right.
Shout out to your wife again. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Congrats to you guys having 3.
So have your kids gone to see Dallas play ever? Or is that
no?
They haven't been able to.
They have not had the chance to go see Dallas. I did take my son to see several.
Go ahead.
I was going to say several years back, I took him to an Indiana Cleveland game with
game
LeBron's
ever, right?
second stint. What was that? I'm sorry.
Your son's first game ever to go see?
Yes, first game ever. Yeah, first game ever. He got to see LeBron James.
LeBron.
And then, so many times you go to a game to see a player, and then all of a sudden they're hurt or they're not playing. Like that's happened to 3-Ball and I several times with the Mavs watching other teams come in. But to go to the game and then he's there and he's playing in your first game ever, tell us about that. That's got to be super exciting.
What a memory.
Dude,
As
he
a dad
had a
and
blast.
take your kid, like the whole thing.
Yeah, he had an absolute blast. It was so cool just seeing his face just light up, and like he doesn't really at the time because he was 6 or 7 at the time, didn't really understand like this is LeBron James, like this is one of the greatest players to ever touch a basketball. And there's a lot of hate for LeBron in Indy, so it was really just the best atmosphere you could think of from fan engagement because it was so loud in there. Anytime he touched the basketball, it was pure chaos.
Right.
And he responds to that so much, so it was probably nuts.
It was a great game. Pacers got destroyed. They got absolutely blown out. But it was great.
Never happens to the Pacers.
Take it easy.
But it was good. It was good. And then, with the LA event this year, taking the girls, my oldest daughter had never watched a single basketball game.
Wow.
We went to the Sparks game, and now all of a sudden she's like, "Oh, I'd like to go again. Yeah, can we go again? Yeah." She doesn't want to go to any of the NBA, but she definitely wants to go to some WNBA games.
Future of fandom, right there.
Yeah,
that's right.
That a boy.
That's so cool, dude.
That is very cool.
You got to buy Sparks jerseys. You got to buy.
Yep. I'm all right with that. It's worth it. Like you said, it's an investment in my entertainment.
Yeah, it's
100%.
super cool. I know 3-Ball. we had something called SportsCon in Dallas, and it's where a lot of athletes came in, and his kid was really young, but he brought him, and it was cool. You got pictures with all sorts of people, and just starting them early and just getting them connected and seeing what it's about. And it's cool to see as they get older, their personalities, and all of a sudden they're saying "Go Mavs" and they're saying "Go Cowboys," and like it's such a cool thing. Not a father yet, jealous. I can't wait one day to have my kid yelling the same thing and saying like, "I love queso." I can't wait. It's gonna be great.
Oh, my kids are right there with you, chatting. I love queso. They are all about it.
Dude,
But
come down
being able to share it with the family is so important, because you don't want to be doing it by yourself. So being able to include them, that's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
And low key, it doesn't hurt when like you want to buy that extra WNBA moment or NBA moment. You're like, babe, I mean, come on, it's our favorite player of our favorite team. She's like, okay,
Get
it doesn't hurt. So.
It's Sue Bird.
Yeah, there you go.
I want to bring up one more thing before we let you go. Me and Brett are speaking of into things. We're definitely into this, and you joined a group with us, and I joined this year in January, and you joined in March. And I want to bring up the Nine Lives Lounge. You were a Cool Cats member, my man. What's up? This is awesome. I'm glad to have you in there.
Took way too long. Me
too. It just seemed impossible when I first got on the platform, and those moments were so high, and it was just something that was coveted, and I always wanted to do it. So the minute I got that opportunity, like I was so excited. Tell us about that journey and getting there.
Yeah. So I started Top Shot in 2022 during the KD GRG stuff. So back then the commercial was pretty expensive. And it's still pricey, but nowhere near as pricey as it was then, or even when some other folks joined in 2021. So but it was one of those things where like I was starting to see like people with purple in the Discord. Like they're just something as simple as their name's purple in Discord. Why is that? Asking around of like, why is this set so expensive compared to some of the others at that time? It's like, oh, well, they're the Cool Cats. The Nine Lives Lounge, and they do all this thing. They do all these things. It's the epitome of, getting stuff in return for your investment, getting a return on investment, with just the amount of engagement. If you will. Yeah, the perks, exactly. Just the amount of engagement that the lounge got, and they had their own Twitter, and I was like, this is crazy. Like, I got to get in this. Yeah. It's that exclusivity, you chase the exclusivity, you FOMO into it. And it was one of those things where I was buying a bunch of stuff just because I thought I would want it, and I didn't really care that much about it. And then I finally was like, my goal has been to be a Cool Cat. And so I sold off the bulk of my collection at the time. I was like, that's all or nothing. I'm going all in right now.
Yeah, that's so cool.
And it's been a blast. Like, I'm so glad to be in there, and it's locked up. It's staying locked up. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, me too. I'm so glad to hear that. That's similar to both of our journeys. Hashtag NLL, never list LaMelo. We definitely want to stick around, and regardless of, the perks are great, but it definitely feels like there's stuff always going on. They're always inventing and communicating on all different sorts within the ecosystem. So we talk about communities and being a part of something. It just feels like the ultimate of one of those. This isn't a sales pitch for Cool Cats, but it's just the reason of why I was so excited to be a part of it. And it sounds like you had a similar path.
Yeah. I love one of the first places that I go to in Discord when I jump in is my WCC Discord, make sure everything's good there. And then I hop into the Nine Lives Lounge just because there's always people talking in there. There's always some good conversation happening. It feels like we get council updates like 2 or 3 times a week. It's like, hey, this is something cool. Like they just had poker, and things like that. And so it's so engaging, and it's definitely like one of the main reasons I'm on Discord. So,
dude,
nice.
It's so funny because I remember when I joined finally got the Cool Cats, and I got the Luca, and I was just waiting for LaMelo, and just waiting. Finally pulled the trigger and got in. I got in this Discord. I'm like, they never stop talking.
Never.
It's 3 in the morning, and people are like debating, or how can we make this better? How can we do this? Or I want to collect this. And I was just like, and then 3-ball wasn't in yet. So I started telling him, I'm like, bro, this is what I heard in the NLL. So then like we had like a daily, like, all right, what's the news today? And it was like his secret, like inside in. And he's like, I can't do this anymore. You're taking too long to respond. I'm getting him myself.
I need my debrief now.
There you
I
go.
can't wait any longer.
Hey, man, you're not in the club. I
man.
can't give you all the good stuff. Like, maybe you should join. He's like, what's happening now? I'm like, I can't tell you, man. Like, buy some moments, figure it out.
Yeah.
But it's just so cool. And there's so many great things. And I think you hit the nail on the head. You got to find something. Like, you went all in. You got rid of, a huge chunk of your collection to invest and to get into Cool Cats. And you got to find your lane, right? You got to find what you like and then go all in, whether it's WNBA or NBA or it's the Mavs or Indiana. Definitely not the Boston Celtics, but any other team, like, go in and collect what you love. And when you do, and you get plugged into the Discords and playback, like, I didn't even know what playback was until someone said it on Discord. Because I was like, Twitch, that's way too technical. Discord or the playback, oh, I just click a button and I'm in. And I was like, and now I love playback. I'm on playback almost every day, seeing who's on or watching some stuff. And it's like you're hanging out with your buds, even though we're all across not just the US, the world together. Because in the WNBA, like your group, there's people that are in Europe that are commenting in the chat, and there's from all over, which is just what makes it so cool, right?
That's the nail on the head about the communication piece in the NLL Discord, in the CNC Discord, in the WNBA Discord. They're going 24/7 because we have an international collector base. Like, everybody's from all over the place, and so people are up all the time. And it's just really, whenever you're thinking about Top Shot and you jump in one of those places, there's somebody there talking and communicating. It's really fun thing to be a part of.
Yeah, absolutely. And you guys, you're absolutely right. Like, collect, set yourself a goal. Like, I don't care what that goal is. That goal could be, I want to collect, the every moment from one team, or just enough to get in as many team Discords as possible. Like, just the checklist. Maybe it's Cool Cats, maybe it's sets, whatever it is. Like, identify that, because otherwise you're gonna be like me. You're gonna log into your account and be like, I have way too much stuff going on. I can't. If someone were to say, sum up your collection in 5 words, I couldn't do it. So
we get too spread thin. We get distracted and wanting to do everything, and that's impossible, especially as we go series by series. So finding your lane, as Brett said, and collecting what you love is so important. Find that community, and then rank some priorities of some stuff that you'd really like to go after, and then start working on those.
Yep. And there's so many communities out there like CNC, where people can ask if utility is what you're after. You can ask, what collecting strategy gets me that utility? Is it going after Cool Cats? Is it going after team communities? Is it, what's that? And then going into CNC and saying, like, which team community is the most engaging? Where can I have the most conversation, the most spirited debate? Who's the most passionate? Definitely connect with folks in these Discords, in these communities, and really find where you are going to be the happiest. Find your home. Love it.
I think that's a great place to wrap up. That you nailed it right there. That was awesome, Mac. Man, you were great to have on. I've been dying to talk to you. I knew we were gonna talk Dirk and Mavs, but man, you had some special stories there. What you're doing with the WNBA and Indiana Fever, obviously in your niche market, but then also as a whole, and the WNBA is great. Keep getting the word out there. We're trying to spread it in CNC and through Top Shot. So love what you're doing there, fam.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys, and love what CNC is doing. Love the motto, love the spirit and the passion, man. Just y'all keep it up.
Dude, for sure. Thank you again for coming on. And again, I'm just without y'all, there's no real WNBA stuff and discords and stuff going on. So just again, shout out to you, Snap. Like, thank y'all for creating that for the rest of us to get involved. And I'm excited to see where things go moving forward over the next couple of years and continuing to build. So keep up what you're doing, and we'll definitely see you soon in playback for sure.
All right. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, King Brett. Thank you, Mac Attack. Everybody in CNC, appreciate you guys for being here. Episode 9 of the CNC podcast. We'll see you guys next time.